Hey guys, so this is another YouTube video, and we're now going ahead and do it. I don't know why this didn't happen yet, but anyway. So now, let's get started with the unboxing for the month of November, or the purchases for the month of November. Now, this isn't as it was last month, where I got a whole thing of it. It's significantly less, but it's still a lot. We shall show it off, shall we? And then we got to get the last thing of the puzzle, which is this fucking thing. So, don't mind me with the water and the Gatorade. So, we're now going to show these off. They're not in any particular order, except for the last one. So, first one we're going to be taking out is Ailstorm's Black Sails at Midnight. This is their second studio album. This is the one... This is the album where they didn't use the fake keyboards after this. That was the first album. So yeah, this is the second album. Now, it has Keelhauled, as you know, that's probably the only song notable here. This is actually probably my least favorite album from the band. Like, I know this is a very unpopular opinion, but this one and I always forget the name of their albums. Like, I'm a bit of an Ailstorm poser. I apologize. Yeah, their fourth album, which is Sunset on the Golden Age. That's also one I kind of am iffy against. But this one is, it's probably my least favorite. Like, I just don't listen to it. It's not really one I'd put on. I put on Back Through Time. I put on, Seventh Rum of Seventh Rum. I put on Curse of the Crystal Coconut. No Grave But the Sea. Like, even sometimes Captain Morgan. But this one, not so much. So, but I thought, I like this one more than I like right now Black Sail, Sunset on the Golden Age. So I decided to... We're taking it out of the seal here. So here it is. Let's take it out. Oh, it has a pretty good CD design though. Let's take a look at it. That's pretty cool. And we can just slide this out. I always hate these CD cases because they don't, Now, the only person who's not on this album from the previous one is Gavin. Gavin Harper was only on the first album that he took off, so don't know where he is now, but that's okay. That's it. Now, next up, we have... I'm actually going to pick a random one here. Now, this one I wanted to get. Exodus's Bonded by Blood. Now, in my opinion, if I had to pick the 5 great thrash metal albums of that time period that were not from the Big Four, this one is probably the one that tops the list. This is the one that honestly tops the list. What's the other one? The Legacy, which is by Testament. Critical Mass by Nuclear Assault. Doomsday for the Deceiver by Flotsam and Jetsam. And the last one would probably have to be, the Ultraviolence by Death Angel. So those are probably the ones from that time period that I think really stand out, that are not the Big Four. This one is like right... I think this is probably the one that's right behind, I'd say, Among the Living by Anthrax. So yeah, this is Bonded by Blood. I had to make sure I had to buy it with this cover because they did reissue it with a different cover, and then they went back to the original album cover that they issued on the original LP. So This album is actually 41 years old. Not 40, 41 as I make this. Because they actually completed this album in 1984, and then the record company didn't release it until next year. So when they did, Paul Bailoff I think was already out of the band. So here it is. This is the band that Kirk Hammett founded with Tom Heffling, who's the drummer. So this kind of reminds me of the Enya CDs. Absolutely nothing on here whatsoever. You can see them from this time period. Now, here's the thing about Exodus. Exodus was that type of band that if you saw them and if you wore like a fucking Motley Crue shirt or a not a Warren shirt or like a Twisted Sister shirt, Paul Bailoff would go at you and rip it off. Like, imagine if I was wearing a LA Gun shirt or a shirt that said, or a, I don't know, like Wasper. Wasper, he would probably rip it off. You know, that's how he was. Here's a poster. This is the lyric sheet. So yeah, that's pretty cool.
Alex, just do me a favor. I'm gonna be in the shower. Just watch it bananas coming up the block or whatnot.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, pretty cool. So anyway, we have next up the next album that we have. I'm actually gonna set these aside for right now because these are the ones I got at the Guar show. I'll tell you about them in a minute. Not this one, not this one. There we go. Anyway, now I got a whole bunch of Megadeth CDs, and one of the things I'm doing before the release of the final album is getting all the remaining Megadeth CDs I don't have, and I kind of thought, well, why not get the and for the last video I did, I talked about I got the System Ends It All, whatever the name of the album was, and I decided to get the remaining of the 2011 reissues. But before we do any of that, though, I feel like there is an album that I need to kind of unbox, and it's this one. I got another one. I kind of felt, since I got a reissue of the original mix and the 2018 remix, why not get the remix that they always sell on eBay or Amazon? I mean, so I got it. I got my own copy, and this is the one where these boots are censored like fucking crazy. So we're gonna take care of this one first, and then we'll now. I've also been thinking of getting the remix of So Far, So Good, So What, because I actually do prefer the remix on that album. Even though I don't like the album, I still prefer the remix. It's still a pretty good album with the remix. So, and this is what you get on the disc. Very basic. They basically try to replicate the CDs from the other albums that came after it until they reissued all their mixes with different mixes. This is probably the best of the 3 album covers of this. This is probably the best. It's also very authentic. So it has liner notes from Mustaine and Ellefson. All right, so the first one we're doing is the one where Dave was like, "Oh, guys, let's redesign Vic Rattlehead. You guys can redesign him." And the one that won was used on this album cover, which came out in 2007. And you can kind of tell right there. That's Vic, like in a hominid form. It's very bizarre. It looks very bizarre, and I'm glad that they did not use this after this. It does not look good. So, interesting though. But anyway. Will I keep the hype stickers? The answer is yes. Now, this one is a bit of a funny story. So I was supposed to, in the last video, I was supposed to get this one with It All Ends, or whatever the name of the fucking album is. I didn't get it got canceled. And I actually have never gotten that copy of it. So I went on eBay and I got myself a copy of it, which is what this is. So now let's open this up. Now here is the booklet. Here's the album itself. You know, this isn't a good album. I don't know. I don't really listen to it. I just bought it to buy it. So now these are all, like I said, the 2019 remasters. You know, the disc looks pretty fucking cool though. That's what the disc looks like. Looks pretty cool. Now this one that I'm going to take out, this one I know is actually pretty decent, and I have listened to it. It has the song called Bone Crusher. And the only time I can really think of... No, Head Crusher. The only time I can really think of Head Crusher is the one where Dave Mustaine roasts a fucking douchebag seeing his show. And it's the one where he goes, out of the 20,000 sperm, you're the one that won. you know, this for you shit for brains. This is called Head Crusher. And then he starts banging his head out like a freaking lunatic. This is from this album, and this is the album before Ellison rejoined. Yeah, this is the one where Activision went up to Dave and they said, "Okay, Dave, we're making a new Guitar Hero game. Can you make the hardest and the craziest song that is better than Through the Fire and Flames?" I don't know which one it was, but it appears on this album. This album was specifically made for fucking Guitar Hero, so. Which fits. So this is this album, and I know that because I know my history a little bit. Not album names, but I know my history. Anyway. Get the fuck inside, bitch. Alright. Look at me, guys. I'm going to write on this. I'm also going to keep the hype sticker, because you kind of have to. This one is Endgame. I don't really know. This one have a big rattle in it? I don't fucking know. And you can see Davey with this fucking guitar. Head Crusher. Oh. There's Vic. There's his fucking eyes. You know, you can actually see him here. It's pretty cool. Now the booklet. Still the same. Not really gonna dig deep into that. Anyway, so this is the one where Ellison returned after not being on 3 studio albums, and this is 13. Came out 2011. Now this one, this is an interesting story. So this album was out of print, unlike the other 3. And I'm like, that's odd. So I decided to go on, I'll search through Discogs. Search through Discogs. They're all like, oh, $60, but $28 shipping. Like, all that type of shit. And I was like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna go on eBay. So I go on eBay. There's a sealed copy for about $26. Comes December 31st. Okay. Purchased. You know when it comes in? Like November 16th or something. It's December 2nd now. And it's a sealed copy of the 2019 reissue. Or remaster, I'll say. That shit, like, the discount prices for this album are fucking crazy. Like, oh, don't ship in Trumpica, but you can buy this for like $6. And it's $36 shipping. What a ripoff! This album tried to rip me off hundreds of times. And all I got was a sealed copy for an album that hasn't been issued in like 6 years. That's like reissuing Headless Cross, okay? And the prices are like, oh, but this is $5, but the pricing is $19. Okay. Fine. Let's unbox this. And whoever made this album out of print, eat my ass. Alright. Now, is this album interesting? Public Enemy is like the only one. It's like the only song on this album I even know of exists. Do I like it? I actually do not listen to it. As much as I hate to say it, I do not listen to it. And it's quite the, Now, how much was the shipping on this? I think it was like maybe $5. Because this was, I think, like 22, it was like 27. So, I spent the same amount I could have gone on Discogs, but it's a new copy. And I do think that because this is a reissue, I did get a pretty good deal out of it. Now, like I said, I'm not really keen on the majority of the Megadeth stuff. Dystopia and the Sick and Dying and the Dead are pretty good albums. I do prefer Dystopia, though, a lot. Dystopia is probably in my top 5 favorite Megadeth albums. Because, you have Countdown to Extinction, you have Peace Cells, you have Countdown to Extinction, you got Rest in Peace, and then you got Killing Is My Business. Number 5 is Dystopia. I think Dystopia is a great album. And I think number 6 will probably be The Sick, the Dying, the Dead. So, here's the booklet for it. And here is the disc itself. Now, this is the first album since United Abominations that you can actually see Vic on the album cover. Now, here's the disc for the reissue. This actually reminds me of the this one actually reminds me of this one, the one with it reminds me of the one of the Killing Is My Business reissue, the original mix. It has this exact cover here, like this exact design. Same with the 2018 Final Kill remix. Now, this one is the last one I have from Megadeth right now, and this album is kind of terrible. Some of you might know what it is. I can tell you, it's not Risk. Super Collider. Yep. I had to get Super Collider, and this one I got on Amazon, and it came in pretty quickly, so. Thank you, Dave. Thank you, Dave, from the heavens of corporations like me, of corporations like you. Now, fun fact, Vic is actually on this album cover, and if you look closely, kind of see this here. That's Vicky Vitalhead for you. So, it is sealed. Doesn't look like it's sealed, but it's sealed. Actually, on this side, it doesn't look like it's sealed. But it's sealed. Let's take it out, shall we? A little bit eccentric. Oh, boy. Oh, actually, the back. Oh, this is actually pretty cool. This is the same design as this one. This is pretty cool. Anything cool here? just a bunch of fucking weird ass illusions. It looks like that Kaleidoscope album cover from Pink Floyd a little bit. This one here. The disc looks pretty cool though. Is some great? Not really. Now, for some of these, you're going to see why I did these, and when I do my Apple Music of the Year review video, you'll see why I bought these. But I'll show you the first one. Tier. How Far to Asgard. Now, I saw Tier earlier this year. I saw them in February. I actually was at the very first show of the tour. And it is the very first show of that tour, and the staple from the first album is Hail to the Hammer, which is the opening track. And it was on Apple playlist for a while. Did not buy it. I bought the album until now. Now, the original issue is this, and they didn't really, and then they kind of decided to reissue it with this. You know, once the Palm Records took over the record labels. So now, my favorite Tier song, honestly, it's just Hell with a Hammer. You know, like, I like Tier, but they're one and done for me. Like, I have no problem. I don't care for seeing them again. Their last album was pretty good, though. I bought an LP and CD. I think I showed that video a while ago. Here's the disc. Then, you know, the only thing I know... Now, Henry Osen is the main guy in the band. I do know of Henry Osen because if you listen to Elstrom's cover of Pirates Buried Ears from the album Back to Time, Henry Osen is actually the guy doing the guitar on that song. And, you know, Christopher goes, "Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Henry Osen." And he goes into this weird lead guitar. Like, it's pretty cool. That's how I got introduced to Tier from that album. So here's him. Here's this album cover. Now, the problem with this one, it reminds me of the Corpaclani album Yuka Waka. It's so fucking long for no reason. Like, this has one long song, and then for the reissue, which is what this is, they added a second long song, which pisses me off. Because you're not Pink Floyd, you can't get away with that. Unlike Corpaclani, where they had like this song that lasts 4 minutes, and there's like nothingness, and there's like boom, 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 boom for like 25 minutes. I'm like, why? Why would you do that? Like, it makes no sense. But anyway. Next up is... I had to buy him, because he's very high on my playlist, and you'll see why. Mr. John Osborne, Blizzard of Oz. So, this is Ozzy's first album after Black Sabbath. He did 8 albums with the band. He did the first 8 until Never Say Die, and then they fired him for... Well, they were all drunks and drug addicts, but he was absolutely the worst. And, you know, Bill Ward fired him, and he ends up getting recruited by Don Arden's daughter, Sharon, who he eventually married. And he required the services of, you know, Randy Rhoads, Don Airey, and you got Lee Kerslake of Uriah Heep, and Bob Daisley, I think. So, yeah, Bob Daisley. So, and they eventually made this whole album. It was eventually supposed to be a band, but eventually became Ozzy's band. Blizzard of Oz eventually became the first album that he ever did on his own. And this album launched Osborne into multi-stardom. He eventually ended up going... he started going internationally stardom, I think, around the next album. So, yeah, this album blew up right away. And it eventually would help Osborne into celebrity stardom as it went on. Now, I want to say this: rest in peace to Osborne, rest in peace to Rhodes, and rest in peace to Kerslake, because Kerslake is dead, unfortunately. So, this one has I Don't Know, Crazy Train, Mr. Crowley, and, you know, it even has Goodbye to Romance, too. Didn't even... I always thought that was the song that came out later on in his discography, but no, it did not. It came out on the first album. Anyway, let's take it out. Now, I know they had one with with Robert Trujillo and Mike Borden, because Sharon didn't want to pay Daisley or Kerslake, but they had to put it in because they won that lawsuit against Sharon. Rightfully so, because Sharon's a fucking weirdo. You know, oh, I hate Trump, but oh, no, I love him now. He's such a really nice person. But your husband said he was a fucking crook. Anyway. Blizzard of Oz. Now, this is the one with the bonus tracks. You know, you're looking at me, Goodbye Romance, and RR, which I think is Randy Rhoads. So, it has the name Ozzy Osbourne all over it. And I think this is a photo shoot of Osbourne. Now, in the back of the booklet, now, it has a turntable for a disc, which is pretty cool. It reminds me of the Paranoid reissues for Blu-ray. Like, they actually have that kind of design a little bit. Now, Havoc. Yeah. I saw Havoc. Their former rhythm guitarist is an asshole, though. Conformist side, or hold on. Conformicide. Yeah, that's the album name. Conformicide. This is the 2024 reissue, because it has Metal Icon series. That's what this is. I actually like Havoc. I actually like the covers of Children of the Grave and Eye of the Beholder. I actually like those covers. But, I really love Intention to Deceive. I like Master Plan. You know, I really like Hang 'em High. That's a really good one. You know, they're a really strong, solid band. Like, I cannot complain about them. Never once had an issue about them. So, yes, we are now going to Aside. Here we go, guys. Havoc. Come form aside. And sorry for the cuts, by the way. There's something issue with my grandmother going on. My brother's been telling me about it. So, if you see, like, major cuts, you'll see why. So, yeah, David Sanchez, Pete Weber. Pete Weber was the one. Reese Scruggs. He's kind of a dick. Nick Zelos. Lead ass, bass. Same thing. That's fucking hilarious. Come form aside. There's nothing, now mind you, there's nothing in the back. There's absolutely nothing in the back. It's just the band name, so. So, yeah. And this one. This one is a funny story. So, I saw Mayhem in March of this year. I saw them with Imperial Triumphant, and I saw them with, Mortis, and I forget the other band. And there was a song that was playing between the transition of Imperial Triumphant and Mayhem. And I looked, I was like, this might be pretty cool. The band is called Neptune Towers. I did a little bit of digging. So, one of the guys of Dark Throne, on their very first album, which was the death metal album, Soulside Journey, I think the name of the album is, there's a song on there called Neptune Towers. He took that idea and he made it into like these middle-aged church stuff with like synthesizers. He was kind of fucking around with synthesizers. And it was just him doing that for about 40 minutes. And the album that he took the name Neptune Towers, made into a band, a one-man band, and the album's called Caravans to Empire Algol. Now, here's the thing. The original issues are extremely rare. And it didn't get a mainstream release until 2012. This is it right here. This is a 2012 reissue of one of the two albums that he did. with the name Neptune Towers, and the guy was Fred Reyes. So. So anyway, we're gonna take this out. Now, it reminds me of the Dark Soul Journey one. Open it up. It's just a disc. It has like the starry, spacey, like, I am actually a big space guy, so. Now, the first side, the towers will appear only when your mind is opened. Like that. Now, the first side, this is actually not really this, but if you had the LP, the first side is 24 minutes, the next side is 12. That's how long this is. So, I'm going to slide this back into its little cubby. There we go. So, I saw Guar, and they always put out a great show. I fortunately have a Guar CD with me for this month, but it will be coming around this month. When I do the review, I'll be showing it off. Now, Squid Pisser was a band I saw with them in Dark Funeral about a year ago. I'm not really a fan of Squid Pisser. I did not like them, but I bought the CD anyway. I really don't know why, but I did. So. Anyway. This is gonna take a while. Oh, finally getting it open. Am I gonna keep this paternal advisory sticker? Maybe. I don't know. I'll keep it here for now. Now here's Squid Pisser. Yeah, like I said, I'm not really a fan of Squid Pisser. So, whatever, I guess. Oh my god. They have these weird... Okay, this is how you get the disc. You ready? So, I spent $15 on a fucking disc just to destroy the artwork the second I get it. Really? Another reason why I don't fucking like you guys. Anyway. And the album is called Dream of Puke. Honestly, this Toward Earth sounds funnier. And the booklet's in here. I don't really want to get into the booklet. I really don't care. Now this one. It's a demo from the band Helmet. This is a reissue of their original demo from the 80s. They were an okay band. They kind of sounded like a better Nirvana, to be honest. Like, and mind you, I'm not a fan of Nirvana. I think Nirvana is fucking awful. Like, I'm sorry. I think Kurt Cobain is one of the worst guitarists of all time. Like, I don't care if you think Smells Like Teen Spirit's a great song. I think Kurt Cobain's a horrible guitar player. And a horrible vocalist. So... Although Dave Grohl's a good drummer, though. I won't say he's a bad drummer. He's a good drummer. He's better off on his own, though. And fun fact, he almost joined Guar. He probably should have, in my opinion. And this is a reissue of their original demo from the 80s. Yeah, it's just from 1989 demo. Just slide it. See what this disc looks like. Okay. Helmet's a band I wouldn't see again, though. They're whatever. Now, this one was Sludge. Reminded me of... They were kind of like a mix of Pantera and Sepultura. And I mean that lightly. And the band was called Blood Vulture. And the album's called Die Close. So, let's take it out, shall we? Now, the LP, though, which I didn't get, it was like this blood-looking LP. You can, like, swish on the blood. It was pretty cool, but I didn't want to get it because it was a bit too much. But I was okay with that, though. Here we go, guys. Oh, you open it up? Ooh, look at that. It actually provides you with sleeves to take it out with your fucking hand. Slide. The disc looks cool, though. Looks kind of like the Candlemass skull a little bit. I should probably get a Candlemass CD at one point. But not right now. I am, unfortunately, not working. So I can't buy all the shit I want. You're dying close to me. Sounds like a quote somebody I know would probably say. Anyway. Now, this is the second to last album. And the last one is actually the combination of the LP and the CD. We'll get to that in a minute. Now, Rigor Mortis. They were great. And the album that they had was, there was actually one of the albums that they had called Slave to the Grave. I thought this album was fucking killer. I thought the show was pretty killer. Oh, Poltergeist, Reign of Ruin. I am yet to listen to this, but I will be listening to it. Now that I have the time. I don't need the knife for this. I didn't even use the knife for this one. I literally just start picking at it. Here we go, guys. Rigor Mortis. Oh, it's 2 CDs. This reminds me of the Somberlane. I'm not the Somberlane one. I'm the one. The second album from the section. I forget the fucking name of it. Why do I always forget the name of these albums? They're weird. I'm a poser. I know the album, but I don't know that album name. I'm a fucking poser. I shouldn't be wearing this hat. Anyway, but here we go. This is disc. Oh, this is a DVD video. I can just put this on my LPS2 and fucking play it. This is the... It fell off. Disc is fine. Now, I wonder if the DVD is even. Anyway. I'll probably do a video where I hook up the PS2 and I'll fucking do it. I don't know. Here's this. Now, this one's the last. Not that I actually know. I didn't realize it said 2 CDs. Pretty funny. Anyway. Now, if you guys remember last video, I bought all of the Kiss solo albums, and I showed them off. I played all of them in one piece. There was something I did. I don't know if I did say this in the last video or not, but I did say that I bought a CD from the month of October that I did not get into November. It came in last night on December 1st. I got the LP a little bit before that. And now that I have both of these on the same album, by the way, I get to finally show it. Now, I don't have the LP with me in question. Wish I did. But I was kind of in a rush to get this. Also, my brother was up my ass. Let's now show this off. He's home. And I don't mean that lightly, too. New York Groove, baby. Or should I say Into the Night, baby? Because, you know, I don't know. As a rock soldier, I get to say that I own Now, the version of both these albums. Now, these are not the original issues, which is fine. This is a 2025 reissue of the CD. Didn't realize they still issued these. And this is a not 2024 reissue of where the vinyl is red and blue, if I'm not mistaken. So, now here's the thing. I'm going to take out the CD first, because I actually want to show it now. And also, there's a little bit of a crack on the front, but I can replace that. It's no big deal. This is now like, here's, if you look at it right here, 2025. See where it actually says 2025. Hold on. And right here. There we go. I got it. Now what does this album even have? It has Rock Soldiers, there's Into the Night, which is the Rust Battle cover. It has Something Moved, it has Fractured 2, which is the sequel to Fractured Mirror on the first album, and it also has Breakout, which was written by former Kiss drummer Eric Carr, or Paul Caravello. So there's that. Let's take out the CD. Oh, nice. It has the Atlantic swirl. And if you guys remember the videos I did on, I bought Overkill's. I bought one of the Overkill albums, and I also bought Metal Church's debut album, and they had the same swirl, but it wasn't black though. One of them was black, the other was red, but this is a combination of both of them. And now, mind you, here is what this looks on the back. I'm going to call him Paul for the sake of this video. Paul was signed by Eddie Trunk in 1986. He was signed to Megaforce Records, who also did albums for Metallica and Anthrax. So, pretty fucking cool. Fun fact, Metallica was the first band that Megaforce ever signed. So, John Zazula was the one who signed them. So, here is the LP. Now, this is a 2024 reissue. I'm going to put my flashlight on here to kind of show you. But if you look closely, it's a bit too hard to see, but if you look right here, (1987 2024). There you go. Anyway, let's go and let's take this LP out. Now, luckily, there's a flap right here, and it's a gatefold, so I can just slide it as is. Not gonna go any further than that. Now, what's my favorite Ace Frehley album? Anomaly. Anomaly's probably the best. But I think the most memorable is the first album. Well, it's the most well-known. But the most memorable, I think, is this one. Frehley's Comet from '87. His worst album was 10,000 Volts. I'm sorry. I fucking hated that album. Like, it only had that one good song, that one mediocre song, and then the rest of the album, I'm like, what the fuck is he even singing? And it's kind of sucky, too, because when I actually heard kind of how he made that album, I'm like, it did not sound right. Kind of a low note in my opinion. Oh, the gatefold is the lyrics, which probably works. Let's take a look at the LP. The LP is kind of in a clearish vinyl. Interesting. And here's the LP itself. It is a It's a purplish blue swirl album. Side 1, you got Rock Soldiers, you got Breakout, you got the Russ Bauer cover, Into the Night, Something Moved, We Got Your Rock. Now, next one, Love Me Right, Calling to You, Dolls, Something, Stranger in a Strange Land, and Fractured 2. Now, this has Anton Fig on drums. Anton Fig was on his solo album from 78. Todd Hodworth. No, Richie Scarlett was on this album. Todd Hodworth, I think. No, Richie Scarlett helped him write Rock Soldiers, No Breakout. But Todd Hodworth was the rhythm guitarist. And then you had John Regan, may he rest in peace, was on the bass. And Eddie Kramer helped produce this album. He also helped produce the first album. Now, if I'm not mistaken, there is a music video for the cover Into the Night. Now, the thing I hate about this type of sleeve is that it's going to be impossible to put in. When I get it in, I'll end the video, but the thing with this is that I kind of thought if I was going to get... I actually want to get one more LP. One more. I have an idea what I want to get, but I don't know yet. But if I wanted it... Now, this here... My last full paycheck came in 2 weeks ago. Think about that. When I got that, I said to myself, I want to spend one more LP with that paycheck on one more LP. And the one I decided to get was this one. Because I felt, I always kind of wanted to have one of these, but I also wanted, there was a reason why I bought it. Now you see, I had a pretty tumultuous relationship with my workplace. And I kind of thought, there was benefits, I kept on buying the CDs. It was kind of just my way of kind of exuding my interest, which drained my bank account. Like, I'll be the first one to admit that it did. But when that happened, I was like, I think there's one more LP I want to get. And I was saving on it for a while. And then when I got that paycheck, I said, I'm going to buy it on this. Now, mind you, this isn't the last LP that you're going to see from this place. I bought the Megadeth LP with the CD. I pre-ordered it the second it came out. The second the pre-order was released. You're going to be seeing that in January when I get it. But that was not the last time. That was not the last LP I bought with my paychecks. This one is. So this one is very significant. And now I get to find another way in life. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoy this video. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, follow my social medias in the description below. And yeah, if you really want to buy this LP, please fucking do so. They're really good. But anyway, I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.